Thanks for hopping on. I'm welcoming you officially to the midterm rental coaching hot seat. I'm supposed to give you 15 minutes and I'm in debt. I owe you three. So why
Four.
don't you tell me where you're dialing in? Four. I apologize. I do have back-to-backs today, so I'm trying to run it as tight as possible.
Oh, got it.
Tell me first where you discovered this link and or myself, and then I'm all here to just pour in and help you.
So
Talk to me.
I have the property that I mentioned, Westland midterm rental,
Mhm.
and I got my first client in September through just another uh, acquaintance who does midterm rentals in the California market. And so I
Okay.
got the first tenant. It went pretty well. They moved out, left me with some issues, but all in all, it was tolerable. And so now I'm looking to rent it out again. I'm like, I gotta figure out this industry, figure out what I need to do. So I started Googling stuff and checking on LinkedIn and all of that. And somewhere you came up, I'm like, what? There's somebody that's actually able to tell me or teach me. So yeah, I jumped on it right away.
Love it, love it. So that's great. So you've gotten your first insurance contract, and essentially you're asking, how can I get more?
Yes, how do I keep the wheels rolling? I mean, it's fully
Yeah,
furnished, beautiful property, and I'm not trying to go back to a long-term tenant. I wanna stick with the midterm, but I don't know how to get
yeah,
my property, you know, get it going. So
yeah, sure. So how did you originally get on the Ailey Solutions platform? How did you hear of it? Just so I have some context. And
I've
how did you
have
land that contract? Like, where did they reach out to you from? I should be more clear.
from ALE Solutions.
Yeah, was that an email? Was that Airbnb? Yeah.
It was no, ALE Solutions is a relocation company. So State
I'm
Farm
yeah. They reached out. Sorry, let me be more clear in my question. Where did ALE Solutions reach out to you from?
through a mutual friend of mine. They have a relationship with some rentals they did in California. And so
Hmm.
the mutual acquaintance told them about my property and it just happened to be a connection. So after we did the first tenant, I did go on their website and add mine to their website, but I still haven't gotten any other inquiries.
Yeah, yeah. So not they'll come and go as needed. Okay, so if I were to give you kind of like fast track, if and you needed to do this in the next hour and you wanted to start optimizing to receive as many interests as possible. Number one, I would definitely, yes, focus on the database. SIS, there's more than one. Ailey Solutions is one of many. So what I would do is create an exhaustive list. I'll give you a few now. CRS Temporary Housing. Have you heard of them?
No.
Okay. Alacrity Solutions. So do me a favor. You said LinkedIn. If you go on Ailey Solutions on LinkedIn, here's a tip I give you, and you click the company. Look at the right hand side and see all the other suggested companies. You'll want to first go there and start um, entering your property in their databases. There's Cedric, there's CRS, there's ALE, of course, there's Alacrity Solutions. There's so many. There's um, My Key, right? And when you do that, you're increasing your chances because you're raising your hand and letting those temporary relocation agencies know that, by the way, like I am looking to serve to be a provider for you. A lot of these companies, they typically work with insurance. That's all that they do. And so you'll get that very similar to lucrative contract that you last received. So that's number one thing I would do. And I'll pause there to see if you have any questions.
You mentioned a name, but I didn't Alexity or something like that. What's the name of it?
Alacrity
You spell
Solutions.
it?
ALAC. Yep. ALACRYTY. Alacrity Solutions. They were
Okay.
formerly THD. They're now Alacrity. I do a lot of business with them as well. But what I want to do is also just teach you how to fish, Joanna. So that's why I'm saying
Yes.
if you go on LinkedIn and type in ALE Solutions, you'll see a bunch of other names that I don't have the time to mention because there's a bunch. And that's the
Okay.
great opportunity. People only know maybe ALE Solutions, but that's one of many. Another thing I would do too, do you use ChatGPT?
Yes.
Oh, play with it. Say, hey, I'm looking for companies like ALE Solutions in my neck of the woods, right? I might, I see you said is Detroit, right? Metro Detroit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I would put that as a location and just a quick Google will start giving you names that you may have never heard of before. That is lowest hanging fruit to
Okay.
live in as many databases as possible, because their relocation specialists will go to their database and then they'll go to what I want to tell you next is a Zillow rental manager. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, so you know how when you go on Zillow and you're looking for a home,
Yes.
yeah, there's a Zillow rentals as well. And what a lot of the relocation specialists will do is they'll go on Zillow as one of their primary, I would say, top three options and start to look and click to see what the zip code that they're looking for the subject property. And if your zip code happens to pop up and you literally call it out, you say, we do temporary housing, we specialize in that, comes fully furnished, amenities included, pet friendly, make sure, are you pet friendly right now?
Yes, unfortunately.
No, I say fortunately. I think no,
Well,
I
the
say
only reason
fortunately.
I
The only
say
thing
that
you gotta
because the last tenant
yeah.
I had
Mhm.
two dogs and a cat, and when they left, I had a flea infestation.
That's fun. Well,
Super
listen,
fun.
I've seen it all. I've seen it
Yeah.
all. And what I will say is one of the things you want to make sure you bake into your terms is a damage waivability waiver. So you can get one like through Superhog is a good one. Wavo. Get a damage waiver in place that protects you from damages. You may want to look closer into Superhawk because I don't think they cover pet damage, especially like fleas. So you may want to look into. But again, that's one thing where I would just want to make sure when you're going to have pets that you have an additional layer of protection, so you're not coming out of pocket. I speak from experience. Guilty as charged. I had a family who had three dogs initially, and then one of the dogs gave birth, and then there was seven, eight dogs, and that was a
Oh my.
disaster. Yeah, disaster. I'm talking about $20,000 worth of furniture I had to get. Learn from experience. We'll never make that mistake again. So don't make the mistake I made. Make sure you get some kind of damage waiver. You get a security so they have skin in the game. Security deposit. Obviously, we don't exceed anywhere more than like 2 grand or even 1 grand because that the family has to pay for that. But we have a damage waivability, sorry, a damage waiver that they pay that could cover you up to sometimes even up to 5 million. So there's a lot of good ones out there. Definitely do your research, include that, and you'll be good. It's just part of the doing business. The reason I say fortunately, Shwana, is because when I tell you that there's such a high demand, especially for these kind of families, don't let this bad experience turn you away from being pet friendly. You're only increasing your chances of getting booked. So we talked about
Mhm.
the databases, leverage LinkedIn typing ALE solutions. Then we talked about Zillow rental manager, right? Write that down.
Mhm.
And then the third is, are you on Airbnb?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's a little, I'll give you a big tip, okay? Are you actively Airbnb when you're not doing these temporary, or you're just on Airbnb to be on
No,
Airbnb?
I minimum 7 days, preferably 30, or
Okay.
more. Yeah, I don't want to do the onesie twosies.
Yes. Okay, I hear you. We don't either. So what I was gonna say is I'm glad you're utilizing your listing that way. If you were an active user of Airbnb, the onesies, twosies actually get in the way of getting these long-term bookings. So if you're not using it that way, keep that. Otherwise, I was gonna suggest, and again, by the time this comes out, someone might say, "Oh, they changed it again." Airbnb is always changing things, but this is where we've advised our people to duplicate their listings, and so have a separate account where you have just strictly always available, always open, because the truth is these relocation agencies are in need of housing that's available and they don't find it through the searches. You don't pop up in the searches when you're not available. So I would say I like the 7 day. Sometimes 30 day can shoot you in the foot if someone wants to start with 2 weeks, right? Because you won't pop up in the searches because relocation agents and or the family member that's being displaced is filtering in online for those dates that they're looking for. And if you're saying maybe they'll start with 1 month, right? Or maybe it's 2 months. If you're a 1 month minimum, great, you'll show up. But if they need less than that, and they need, hey, maybe they're like, let's start with 2 weeks and see where we go from here, then you won't show up in the searches if your minimum is 30 days. So I think you understand that
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that that was definitely something that you're using, and you want to use keywords, you want to use, the pet friendly amenities, anytime you're doing that. But those are the really three big sources that you can leverage and that will increase your chances dramatically.
Okay. Now, is
Yeah.
there any way to
Does
get
that help?
directly connected to insurance companies?
It's a relationship-based game, so there is, but the insurance companies themselves are looking for volume. The reason they go to relocation agencies is because, like, I was just on the phone right now, right before this call, with a relocation specialist, that has 25 claims that she can handle. They don't want to go to Shawana, who has one or maybe two homes. They want to go to a provider who can relocate 100 or 1,000 people in a month, and that's the only reason why these insurance companies actually partner with these temporary relocation agencies, who then find us, the homeowners. So I always say the lowest hanging fruit is to partner with those who are actually getting paid to find us, rather than
Okay.
trying to go straight to the top, because you're just kind of just a small fish in a very big pond, and they're looking to not just have a one-to-one relationship with Shawana and Ruben, but instead with a big time corporate provider who can find Ruben and Shawana.
Gotcha.
That
Makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Cool. Cool beans. Well, was that helpful?
That was extremely helpful. Yep, it was. I just need to get
Awesome.
on
Awesome.
everybody's database. And then how often do I follow up? Like, because I've got an email
All the
list of
time.
a few people,
Like,
just,
yeah,
hey, how's it
all the time.
going?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll give you one tip before I drop, because right back to back here. Make sure you include in the subject line the name of the the city, state, and perhaps even zip code, because they'll do a control find at some point. Even if they don't get to you this week, next week, at some point when they need something in Detroit, they'll type in Detroit in their emails and see if they have anything available. So it's, if you're actually in your best interest for you to email often, sometimes they'll even ask for permission. Hey, is this okay that I'm still following up if you get someone on a call? All you need is that one relocation specialist. As a matter of fact, the one from ELE, I would call her up and say, hey, is there anybody in your office that is looking to relocate in my specific area? I have property or properties available in this area. Please forward it to the rest of your colleagues. That is always a best practice to do for you to be top of mind and within their inbox and database.
All right. I got it. Thank you. I
Woohoo, let's go.
appreciate
Now
it.
let's go serve some families. Awesome. And if you yeah, if you got some value from this, make sure, are you on my email list?
I don't think so. Not the, oh, well, I don't
Okay.
know. Am I?
We'll send you the midterm rental insurance blueprint, because it covers a lot of what I discovered. It should be an automated email that goes out after this. Just
Okay.
make sure you grab that blueprint. It'll get you on my list, and I have a bunch of resources on this, lots of YouTube videos, and of course I have programs. So if there's anything where you might want to dive deeper and get more, insight on how it works, I'd be more than happy to serve you. We do have a mastermind where we teach people how to land these contracts over and over again. So it would be my treat.
Perfect. It sounds good.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Shimano, Happy New Year. I'll let you conquer the rest of your evening. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks
You
for
too.
joining.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.